Did Olight just create the coolest pistol-mounted light on the market? Maybe. This is the Olight PLX. This product launches today, and I've been testing it for the last couple of weeks. Today, I'm going to show you what it's like to have this thing mounted on your gun. Other reviewers are probably going to dive in and show you the lumens and statistics and all that. Those videos will be out there. I'm sure you'll be able to find them. I want to answer the questions. What are the real world applications here? Like, well, how does this impact me? I'm going to tell you how you mount this thing, how much flexibility does it have in being mounted at various places for different hand sizes. I'm going to show you the controls and how they work. Are they actually intuitive? I'm going to show you the different modes that this thing has. We'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to compare this with a couple of other lights that I have. I've got the TLR1, I've got another Olight in the Valkyrie Mini. I'm going to show you how that works. I'm going to show you some real world footage of this being used in my house so you can see how much of a room this thing lights up. I'm going to show you shooting it out on the range so you can see what that looks like and how much can you actually see of your targets. And then I'm going to answer the question that seems to come up every single time you mention the name Olight, and that is, how hot does this thing get? Let's get into it. Shooter, make ready. Are you ready? Stand by. I'm going to take this thing into the bench in a minute and I'll take it apart and show you how the mounting system on it works and functions. Right now, I want to show you the controls and the intuitive way that they work. There's a couple different modes, so let's cover that first. The two modes on this light are flood and spot. Okay. Now, what's happening here is you can see these bulbs. The two top bulbs there are the floodlights, and they light up an entire room, and it's a very wide and broad light. You can cover a pretty wide field of view with these things. And again, I'll show you inside and outside with using that. The other one is the spotlight. It's this bottom light here. That one gives you a really tight circle that you can look at about 20, 25 feet. It's about the size of the chest of a full-grown man. Kind of cool. So it's nice that you've got this pistol-mounted light that sort of gives you a built-in aiming area in an emergency. Now, the controls. The controls are really cool. So I've got this thing mounted to where I can use it here with my offhand thumb. That's what I like. You can control it with your trigger finger if you're right-handed as well. So either side, ambidextrous, off we go. Okay. The thumb control here, they work the same on both sides, but I like the thumb. So here's how this works. If I hold the light down, stays on. Let go, turns off. Tap it, light stays on. So single tap, on and off. Pretty intuitive, no problem. If I turn the light on and then I do a double tap, it dims and brightens. So there's two modes there. Double tap, and that works in either mode. So here is the spotlight. Same way. Okay. Now, three taps. Strobe light. One tap to turn it off. We're going to take this into the bench. I'll show you how to mount the light. They did something really cool with this screw that I wish every gun mounting system had. So I'll show you that. I'll show you the adjustment on how that works, and then we'll get into some more of the real world application of using the Olight PLX. Okay, made it into my workbench. A couple things I want to show you about the functionality of how this, starting with how does it mount to your gun. My gun's clear here. One of the things I really like about this is the screw head that they have here perfectly fits a 9mm casing. So if you forget your screwdriver and you're out at the range and you need to remove this to fit in a different holster or whatever it might be, there you go. That works. And then it's just a matter of popping it off. Now, it also has some really cool adjustment to it. So this piece moves back and forth here freely, okay, until you obviously tighten it down, then that can't move anymore. This adapter here that slips into the rail of your gun is, you can flip this around to get a little bit more length out of it. So I've spun it around so I can get this piece as far back as possible, and that puts the light the furthest forward on the gun, right? So I've got it way out here, but it lines up right there. But one could easily slide that forward, and the light, whoops, let me just give myself a little bit more room here to work. Screw it out a little bit more. There we go. At that point, the light would mount here, right even with the front of the trigger guard. One could spin that front part around and get a little bit more length even, and bring it back further to where it actually touches the front of the trigger guard there. And it seems to me, just the way that this thing is built, it's really designed around that distance from the trigger guard to here on a Glock, which is going to be similar for most handguns. So that's the attachment. It attaches really tight, and as you get to the, let me put that back where I want it. As you get to the end of tightening it down, you'll start to hear it ratchet. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that, but now it's starting to really catch, and I can feel it clicking in place. So it's got a locking mechanism in there that actually holds that thing down and tight. I have about, I'm going to call it 500 rounds through the gun with this light attached. I've got about 1,000 rounds through the gun, 500 with this light attached, and it has never budged. It stays super tight on the gun. And just aesthetics real quick, I think it looks cool. Holster fit, honestly, I don't know what it fits that's out there right now in the market. They have listed several companies that I'll provide here in a moment. I'll put them on the screen right here, that are making holsters that will fit this gun. But I don't know if there are any holsters out there right now, if there's a footprint that fits this. I wasn't able to get that answer. I don't have a holster that fits it right now. But these companies are providing holsters for this gun. They've partnered with Olight specifically for this light. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the heat test. I know that's going to be on everybody's mind. Let me show you what I did to test how hot this light actually gets. So I'm going to leave this on my desk right here. Ignore the Star Wars nerdery. I'll leave it here for about 15 minutes. We'll see what happens. See how hot this thing gets. Okay, so I'm back. And it's warm. The housing's not hot, like, but it is warm. Let's see the glass here. These floodlights are on. Obviously, they're bright, but nothing that I would consider really hot. Like, it's not even close to burning me. Be kind of an extreme test. I'll switch it to the floodlight, or I'm sorry, the spotlight real quick, and we'll leave that on for 15 minutes or whatever, and see if, let's see if that gets hot. Okay, so the spotlight now has been on for, it's only been about 12 minutes, but if it was hot, if it was going to get hot, it's hot. It would be hot. It's warm. It's definitely warmer than it was. Probably about like I don't know, like a hand warmer. Um, let's got really hot, but yeah, nothing crazy. I have a TLR1. I'll go grab that and set it out and see how it does, but this is fine. So here's my TLR1 by Streamlight. I'll set this out here, turn it on for 15, 20 minutes and see how warm this thing gets. It's been sitting here for 15 minutes, and yeah, I mean it's warm. It's probably, I don't know, maybe it might be a little bit less hot than the PLX was, but they're about the same. Like, it's really tough to tell. They both have a hot label, so I don't know, but nothing crazy on either one of them. About the same. So I had that thing sitting on my desk for quite a while without turning the light off, really. It was about right at 30 minutes. And I wanted to check and find out in the research I was doing, the materials they gave us, it sounds like they expect the light in each mode to last a little less than an hour. On, I think it's the floodlight, it says 50 minutes, and on the spotlight, it says 55 minutes. So I didn't really push that boundary. The light was red telling me to charge it, and I did, and I never did run this thing to empty. It's gonna be pretty rare experience when you actually have your hand light gun on for longer than 30 minutes. I'm going to show you some real world testing now, show you what I did inside my house, what I did out at the range. Let's get to some of that footage, and then we'll meet back up here and I'll wrap things up. Okay, as you can see on each of these guns, I have an orange dummy round that sticks through the barrel, so just a chamber flag. Know that it's safe, but I wanted you guys to see that so you know I'm not just randomly running around my house pointing a gun. All right, this is the Olight Valkyrie Mini 2. Okay, this is the Olight PLX. It is the brand new light from Olight. We're going to start with flood. Kind of lights up that whole corner of that room. Okay, going to switch modes. And we're going to go spotlight. A lot more intense in that one area. So I'm going to put the red dot on the middle of the 33. So the nice thing is, if you shoot the light, you're dead on. So that is kind of nice. All right, this is the Streamlight TLR1. On the nail. Chewbacca. Right in the 33. So not quite as distinct a circle, but more similar to the spotlight than to the floodlight on the Olight PLX. I'm out here. I know it's dark. There's the silhouette of my Glock Gen 6. And I've got the Olight PLX. Let's see how she runs. Okay, it's tough to see, but here I've got my P211. This is my P211 with, this is the Streamlight TLR1. Let's see how this does. Not bad. A little bit of a wide circle, but it lights the country up pretty well. It's kind of a halfway between what that PLX does. So PLX is a little tighter circle, but does floodlight a little better than this. That gives you an idea. Okay, so we just read the TLR1. I let it get a little bit darker, and now we're going to run the PLX one more time. I'm going to start with the floodlight here and let you see how kind of that lights up the hillside, and then we'll tighten it in, and I'll look at this from there. Okay, so here we go. This is flood. So now I can see the whole area, right? Floods, lights up that whole hillside for me, but now I need that spotlight. Okay, there's just a little switch right here at your thumb. You flip that switch, and now you got a spotlight. I gotta say, I'm a fan of the PLX. Okay, I think it's pretty obvious the Olight PLX impressed me. If you've watched my channel at all, you know if a product doesn't live up to my expectations, I'm gonna let you know. But this one kind of exceeded them. I think it's a cool looking light. It's rechargeable, it's intuitive, it stays put, it's multifunctional. From a dollar for dollar standpoint, I don't see a better value. And if somebody came to me and said, hey, what light should I put on my gun? I'm going to have a hard time not telling them this. So I'm impressed. I kind of hate, I don't want to be a cringy shill, but at the same time, if a product's good, you want to know, right? And I think Olight kind of hit it out of the park here. So there you go. That's my take. What did I miss? What should I have tested that I didn't test? What do you want to know about this light? And if this isn't the one, what do you recommend? What should I go test? I don't have a ton of pistol lights, so what should I get? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, please like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And guys, we'll see you out on the range.